Well, hey everybody, and welcome to this admin update. It's been a minute since we had one of these, and we're really excited to bring them back. If you have never met Jenna, this is Jenna Ramsey. Everyone say hi, Jenna.
Hi, everyone.
Good job, excellent. That's our second take on that. Um, but back before COVID and then during COVID, we were trying to do some admin updates pretty regularly. But like I said, it's been a little while since we've been able to get these up and out. And in part, that's because we've been operating without a lay leader for much of the last year. Technically, it was Bob Roach, who had already done it for 3 years and asked to step out of that role. At the end of, he had paid double for all of his sins, and so he was ready to roll out of that. But we just never erased his name. We left him there, and so thankful to Bob there.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
But this coming year, 23 and onward, Jenna Ramsey and Richie Hines are going to be our co-lay leaders. And Jenna is here today and is going to be with us hopefully very regularly as we keep you up to date with all of the things that are going on in the wild world of Fuquay-Varina United Methodist Church.
Absolutely.
Church leadership. So we don't know how to do this. We do have new microphones that we're very excited about.
They're very fancy.
And Kyle's over there with headphones looking very serious as we do this. But we're going to go through just a couple of sort of notes that we've got here, and we'll let this kind of be an informal question and answer for each other. And then we'll see. And if you've got things that you got questions about, let us know. Find a way to get some word to me. You can send me an email, or maybe we'll get your email posted up on the screen. Not your home one. We'll make you a fancy one.
Oh,
for your leadership role.
Fancy one sounds.
And that way, if you got fancy one, yeah. If you got questions, that we can tackle those things here together and get you all the information you're looking for. So
absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about Advent and Christmas, all of which are upcoming here. We've got a new thing. Well, first of all, the cantatas this weekend. We will probably have come and gone through that by the time anyone is seeing this. But we also, then the week after that, we have cookies and carols coming up.
Yeah, tell about that. I've heard.
Yeah,
sounds exciting.
Well, we used to do the Love Feast, Moravian Love Feast, which takes a lot of energy and effort. Not even just sort of from my vantage point or working with the staff team, but it takes a lot of volunteer work and coordination, all that sort of stuff. And so we've got a lot of other wonderful things happening, and it just felt like it was too much to add that. We wanted to kind of capture some of those elements. So instead of Moravian buns, we'll just have your homemade cookies that you bring, and we'll have some beverage there as well. And then we're just going to sing Christmas carols, because at the end of the day, Buddy the Elf himself says it, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Jesus, Buddy the Elf, but I also think singing our faith is, Kyle's doubting this, singing our faith is important. So we'll do that. And actually, one more second on cookies and carols.
Yeah.
We're going to actually share some of the stories behind the carols while we're there. Not all of them, but we'll do that for a few of them. And that's something that I'm personally very excited about.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And we have the Moravian Love Feast candles. So I grew up with that tradition at my church. Moravians and Methodists are in our history. Do you know that connection?
I don't.
So the Moravians there was a German pietist movement, and John Wesley, who was one of the founders of Methodism, the people called Methodist, was on a ship traveling between what's now the United States of America and back home for him in England, and a storm came up, and the Moravians were on the ship, and they were not afraid. They prayed all the way through it, and he thought, we were going to die. Like, what are you doing praying in the middle of this? And he was so moved by their deep faith that he went and studied, was really influenced by some of their theology and practice. Count Zinzendorf, if you're looking for a name for a child or something. But yeah, so I always say the Moravians write us off on their taxes. We're like their dependents in a way.
Okay.
So anyway, so
well,
all
that's
this
a cool story.
Yeah, but I grew up with some of those traditions, and like the smell of those candles is a olfactory sort of remembrance of those sweet moments. So for those who share that, we also have Blue Christmas coming up as well, which the poet who wrote the words for "I Heard the Bell on Christmas Day" lost his wife. This is new information I've been studying, so I'm very excited about it. He lost his wife, and he said that like every he has some really profound quote about how every holiday after that kind of lost any sort of meaning. And those of us who have lost those we're close to, I'm sure, can understand how holidays can be hard. And so we just make sure we're providing a place for people to be able to deal with that and to process that and not just have to feel holly jolly all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I've attended several Blue Christmases, and I just find it to be just such a comforting place to like set aside some time to do intentional remembering of the person that you've lost. So I would definitely encourage you, if you are in that space this year, or even if it was someone that you lost years ago, to take advantage of that service. It's pretty meaningful.
That's interesting that you call it a comforting space. I'm going to point that out real fast because I think sometimes we don't want to get up close to the pain because it feels uncomfortable to us. But it sounds like what you're saying is, for you at least, in your own experience, that getting up close to it's actually has been a gift.
Yeah, it's just an intentional time, and I treasure that. So
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
no worries. I'll be attending this year too. So
then we'll also have Christmas Eve, and we've got 5 services. I don't want to misquote. 1:30, 3:30, 5:30, 7:30, and 11.
Yes.
Not 11:30, 11.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but this is our greatest opportunity to kind of be host for folks who wouldn't normally find themselves inside of a church, and so I think that's a really important moment. It used to be Easter, but now that's not as much the case in our kind of cultural place. So bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your family. We'll be here all day. The 1:30 is they all have candlelight and communion. The 1:30 will have glow stick candles for the children.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And then the
adults can use the glow sticks too.
Some adults probably ought to be using glow sticks, but so we'll have, like I said, candlelight and communion at all of them. 3:30 is contemporary, and then the rest are traditional. And this year, at 11 o'clock, we will actually be. Well, I guess that's the case. That's the case every year. Christmas Day always follows Christmas Eve, not just this year. But this year, Christmas Day is on a Sunday, and so that feels like, to some degree, it might have some added meaning for folks. And we will have worship on Christmas Day. We'll be online, so we'll bring worship to you wherever you are, rather than making you come here for that. But we've got some plans in place for that, so we're excited. People can worship with their families at home wherever they find themselves in this Christmas season. And then I will say one other thing while we're on the subject. I know we're running long on this topic, but the next Sunday is New Year's Day.
Oh, right.
Which in the South, you got to eat your collards and your pork and your beans, black-eyed peas and all that. Also my daughter's birthday. So, yeah. But we will have worship that morning in person and online at 10 and 11:15. So we will not have the 9 o'clock service. Okay. We assume some people are going to stay up too late, and we're going to give them a chance to wake up and come in. We will have venue at 9 o'clock. Thank you, Kyle. Always keeping me straight.
All right. That sounds good.
We got lots of great stuff coming up in January too, but we can talk about that in another segment.
Absolutely.